For the uninitiated, gacha games can be pretty intimidating if you don't know what you're getting yourself into. A lot of them are filled with substantial pay-to-win mechanics, especially if it's tied to some sort of multiplayer element. Luckily for newcomers, Square Enix released Romancing Saga Re-universe is a mobile game that's exceptionally friendly to new players, with an added connection to the SaGa series. While it doesn't really introduce anything new to the genre, it provides a great single-player experience through its accessible systems. Romancing Saga Re-universe has players assume the role of Polka, a trapeze artist with the circus. During a performance, an evil king appeared and kidnapped his partner, Liz. It claims Liz to be the 500th child and disappears. Polka vows to rescue Liz and sets off on a long journey where he finds himself joining the Grave Knights, a group dedicated to protecting the land from demonic beasts called Graves. These mysterious graves also have what is essentially spirits of characters from past SaGa games, which lend their help to Polka. The story sections of the adventure push things along rather quickly, almost to a fault. Each new character gets a brief introduction of their personality and maybe a few bite-sized interactions later on, but that's all we ever get. Even seeing Polka's character growth as the hero feels incredibly rushed. In later parts, some story segments dived into an old character's backstory, but I still ended up wanting more. Hopefully some events are tied explicitly to various characters in the future so we can learn more about each of them. Thankfully, the overall art direction of the game is astounding, ranging from the environments, battle sprites, and 2D character models, which are both presented through updated illustrations and character models for this release. It's not a secret that gacha games are all about drawing new characters, hoping for a rare one, and then powering them up. In Romancing Saga Re-universe, many of the playable characters are from the original SaGa games, along with a few new ones. Some characters join your parties through story progression, but the more powerful characters are acquired through summons. The interesting thing about this title is that you don't have to worry about getting the best units. Enemies and boss fights seem to scale in difficulty as any typical RPG would. There are also higher difficulty levels of the same story missions that give better rewards, but I found that grinding levels is only required if you want to tackle these early submissions early on, but that isn't necessary. This is in contrast to the many gacha games that have enemies who reach an insane power level where you're forced to grind a crazy amount of levels or outright start wailing to get a powerful character. Fighting in Romancing Saga Re-universe plays out like a typical turn-based JRPG, but paired with elements of old SaGa games. Characters you use can actually learn new abilities during combat depending on the style of character you have. Style pretty much represents the type of weapon that the particular character is using. There's also a combat system that is activated depending on the abilities you choose. It comes with a bit of trial and error, but you can attack enemies quickly if you find a combo sequence for higher damage attacks. Additionally, players can activate limit break style combos that can be executed once their meter is filled. There's also an option to set up different formations prior to encounters, which each have their own benefits, like having characters in the front line receive a defensive boost. New players in the series will definitely find this combat more interactive since it can change during each battle. However, if you're coming with a load of experience in the gacha genre, then these features might lose your interest. Many times, gacha games hook players through complicated means and dozens of enhancement options, but this is one mobile RPG that likes to simplify these systems to be more straightforward. Romancing Saga Re-universe is a great entry point to the gacha genre, but more importantly the SaGa series. The connections to the series characters told through a new adventure flows well across the game's RPG mechanics. While the story isn't going to immerse or impress you, there's no pressure on the player to use any real currency by stonewalling them with a high difficulty scale or intimidating PvP mode. If anything, Romancing Saga Re-universe did a fantastic job in introducing me to the series, where I ended up buying Romancing Saga 2 on my phone. NoiseyPixel is giving Romancing Saga Re-universe a 7.5 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Please read the full review on NoiseyPixel.net. NoiseyPixel is run by a group of gamers who work hard to deliver news, reviews, previews, and more. Please subscribe to keep up with all our future content.